All right, we're looking for Nils. All right, so while we wait for Nils to come up here, we're gonna pass it up to Angie Drobo from the TPS for Ecuador National Coalition. Woo! Give it up for Angie! When I say people, you say power. People! Power! People! Power! People! Power! Buenos dias, good morning, everyone. My name is Angie Drobo Castillo. I'm undocumented, unafraid, and here to stay. I'm also one of the coordinators of the TPS for Ecuador National Coalition and a member of Moms Rising. I immigrated to this country when I was 12 years old with my parents and my two younger brothers. It has been 16 years since we arrived to this country, a country that we now call it home. My brothers and I went to elementary school, we went to middle school, we went to high school, and we went to different universities to obtain our bachelor's and master's degrees. My parents have worked in different fields, and my family and I will be impacted by Trump's mass deportation machine. And it's very important to note that nurses, undocumented nurses like my brother, will be impacted by the mass deportation machine. Construction workers that built our homes and our apartments, like my parents who work in construction, will be impacted. Housemates, homemates, and domestic workers that clean offices, that clean hotels and houses, like my mom, will be impacted. Restaurants and restaurant servers, like my younger brother who works as a server, will be impacted. And young women professionals like myself will be impacted by the new administration. And this is why I'm standing here with all of you this morning, because my life is at stake. I know that if I were to be deported to Ecuador, I will be deported to my death. Today, I demand that President Biden designate TPS for Ecuador. Ecuador is currently going through the deadliest armed conflict in history, and it has become the most violent country in mainland Latin America. TPS for Ecuador will provide a stability for me and my family, will provide work permits and protection from deportation from the new administration. I'm also here demanding President Biden to continue to step up for immigrants, especially those with DACA, especially those with DALE, and those with TPS. We need those executive orders and programs to continue to live so that we are protected under the new administration. And this morning, I'm also here to send a clear message to Congress to pass a clean, continuous resolution with no mass deportations, funding for ICE and CBP attached. We need our elected officials to understand that they have a window of opportunity to stand up for immigrants, and they must do it. Home is here. Thank you.
TPS para Ecuador.
TPS for Ecuador. Ok, vamos a hacer sin papeles, sin miedo. Sin papeles.
Sin miedo.
Sin papeles.
Sin miedo.
Sin papeles.
Sin miedo.
Sin papeles.
Sin miedo.
Undocumented.
Unafraid.
Undocumented.
Unafraid.
Thank you so much, Angie. Up next, we have Leslie, a member from Chirla.
Hello, everyone. In the words of JFK, everywhere immigrants have enriched and strengthened the fabric of American life. This immigrant spirit has indeed defined America. My American dream began in 2001 when, at just 5 years old, I came to this country unaccompanied. Even though I was so young, I remembered I was terrified to be separated from my family and home for the first time. However, I carried the same unwavering determination that has empowered generations of immigrants before me. My name is Leslie Lepis, and currently I am a senior at Pomona College, double majoring in history and Spanish. And I'm preparing for law school. I aspire to become a constitutional lawyer to uphold the promise America represents of liberty and justice for all. When politicians propose mass deportations, and vilify immigrants. They aren't just attacking policy, they're attempting to shatter the very dreams and determination that have built this nation. I seek to humanize this narrative. As a child in post 9/11 America, I witnessed how anti-immigrant sentiment transformed our daily lives. The creation of ICE in 2003 unleashed a wave of raids that spread fear throughout immigrants' communities like mine. My childhood memories aren't just of normal trips to the store, church, or school. They're marked by moments of sudden panic, of ducking into random apartment buildings or stores whenever a police car drove by. My parents, terrified that any law enforcement vehicle might be immigration, taught us to vanish from sight at a moment's notice. This wasn't just caution, it was survival, and shaped how an entire generation of immigrant children and their U.S. citizen siblings learned to navigate their own neighborhoods. In May of 2020, I was detained by ICE. The COVID-19 pandemic caused a shortage of correctional officers, which resulted in inhumane, unsanitary conditions. For months, I was denied the most fundamental human needs, sunlight and fresh air. After surviving the psychological torment of prolonged solitary confinement, the gnawing pain of irregular meals, and the disorienting shock of feeling direct sunlight for the first time after months behind locked doors. After all of this, I cannot stay silent. These experiences reveal the stark truth about our immigration system. Now, proposals for mass deportation under Trump would deliberately overwhelm this already broken system. I know firsthand what this means. More people subjected to inhumane conditions, more families torn apart, more communities destroyed. We, as a society, must shield the next generation of children from living in perpetual fear of losing their parents and family to raids and deportations. The cost isn't measured just in individual sufferings. It's measured in the devastating loss to communities when their mothers, fathers, aunts, uncles, and cousins who have built their lives and contributed to the fabric of society are suddenly taken from them. Our grandchildren and great-grandchildren will one day read about this current moment in their history books, studying how their family members responded to this moral crisis. Like those before us who faced defining choices about human rights, our decision will echo throughout generations. This surpasses any political party. It cuts to the heart of our shared humanity and the fundamental values we claim to uphold as a society. Will you stay silent?
No.
El pueblo unido
Jamás será vencido.
El pueblo
Unido jamás será vencido.
Thank you.
Home is here.
Home is here. Home is here. Home is here. Home is here. Home is here.
El pueblo
Unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido.
We're gonna do another song, okay?
Ganaremos esta lucha, cueste lo que cueste, de norte a sur, de este a oeste. Ganaremos esta lucha, cueste lo que cueste, de norte a sur, de este a oeste. Ganaremos esta lucha, cueste lo que cueste.
we shall overcome.
We shall overcome.
We shall overcome.
We shall overcome.
We shall overcome today.
We shall overcome today.
transformation,
transformation,
and miracles.
and miracles.
I need it.
I need it.
I need it.
I need it.
I gotta have it.
I gotta have it.
Right here.
Right here.
Right now.
Right now.
All right, up next we have Nils from African Communities Together. Give it up for Nils.
Thank you, everybody. My name is Nils. I'm the Federal Policy Manager for African Communities Together. We are here to demand that this administration protect all immigrants, including Black immigrants. It goes without saying that we do contribute significantly to the economy, to the society, and that deportation destroys our communities. Deportation takes away the best of us, and we will not let the incoming administration continue to destroy our communities. We are asking that Congress does everything that they can in their power to make sure that our communities stay safe and protected. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Nils. Thank you for your remarks. Up next, I have the honor of inviting a fierce champion for immigrants' rights, for our immigrant communities, to the stage, Congresswoman Rashida Tilab.
Hello everyone, salams, peace to everyone here. Thank you so much for having the courage to show up here. Even as you know, folks continue to try to fearmonger and make people afraid of our immigrant neighborhoods. We cannot underestimate, as you all know, that what will unfold the moment Trump takes office in January. And we need as many people as possible working to resist this hateful agenda. We need to all fight back. A Black pastor in Detroit always reminded me that our country is not divided, but disconnected. We need to connect our movements together because these oppressive, racist policies impacts our whole country. President Biden, as you know, is still in the White House. He still has power to take immediate executive action to protect our immigrant communities. We know that right now they're considering a continuing resolution to continue to have a budget to keep the federal government open. We want to make sure that every single one of my colleagues votes no on funding any sort of divisive, anti-immigrant provisions that might be placed in that bill. Right now, as we speak, while we're out here, Republicans are inside debating, arguing right now of whether or not to have a clean continuing resolution or not. And we're telling them, many of us, including myself, will not be voting for a continuing resolution that promotes hate and division. You all know, again, we got to continue to push back against Trump's mass deportation, inhumane immigration positions on his agenda throughout the upcoming reconciliation process through the Congress. As you all know, we don't have to remind folks, we have seen Trump's extreme agenda and his taxes of stoking racism and division, of pitting our communities against each other. I remember being in a mosque, and as a Muslim, I was sitting here, and this young girl gets up in the masjid and she says, Rashida, how come nobody is speaking up? Nobody is saying anything about the Muslim ban. I looked at that audience in that mosque and I said, well, how many of you said anything when he said Mexicans were rapists? Because we have to hold each other accountable. We have to make sure, again, it's not just one community being targeted. All of us are being targeted with this hate agenda. Trump has doubled down, as you know, on this pledge to carry out the largest mass deportation effort of our country has ever seen, starting on day one. I have gotten already calls into my office, tears, just tremendous amount of fear, even from green card holders. He has even threatened to use the military against our communities. This means, of course, more ICE militarization, unleashing federal agents and police in our states and our cities to raid our neighbors' homes, the homes of our incredible families, going into churches, masjids, hospitals, schools. And to Trump to know this, I fought when President Obama's policy continued to have ICE come into near churches and schools. I'll continue to do it again, no matter who is president of the United States. We also have heard their intentions to round up many of our U.S. citizen neighbors who are part of mixed status families. That's so many in our communities. Our immigrants are part of, as you all know, the fabric and just the essence of our country. Mass deportation will be felt across every sector, every industry, every workplace, every school, every hospital. And again, we must continue to work incredibly hard, not only to outwork the hate, but to really promote love and justice within our communities. Not a single place in the corner of our country has not already been beautifully shaped by immigrants. And we all know it makes us a stronger country. We're going to see, of course, folks likely going in to see our neighbors' homes raided and community members supported. But I can tell you, even the last time the threat continued to happen, it was our faith-based communities, our community-based organizations that took many of our families in Haven, fought back and said, not on our watch will you take our families and separate our children from our communities. If you're a student, that means, again, looking into and advocating for your school to enact policies to make sure that ICE and CPB aren't allowed onto school grounds, on your campuses, to target your immigrant peers. The same is true for workplaces and local businesses. You have the power to stop this. That means, of course, know your rights trainings. I used to do them as a young attorney, even with my 2-year-old child who was learning Spanish as I was doing the know your rights trainings in the basement of churches throughout Southwest Detroit. But it also means engaging our local city council meetings. I can tell you right now, our city council has a tremendous amount of power. They can call it whatever they want, but it's like hands off, stay out of our neighborhoods, stay out of our city. We are a city that loves our immigrant neighbors, and we will not punish them because this Congress failed over and over again to fix our broken, inhumane immigration system. We should not be blaming our immigrant neighbors for the unjust, again, system that we have in place. So again, we must have honest conversations with our friends, our family members, our co-workers, and say, again, we need to take a stand in this moment. We need to show up for each other because immigrants are an essential part of every single one of our communities, and they're here to stay. You all belong here. Trust me when I tell you, many of my colleagues continue to need to be reminded how incredibly important our immigrant communities are. But also, even as equally important, is the fact that this is not the way forward. You know, like, this is not the answer. Have some courage to actually understand that we've been asking for family reunification pathways to citizenship for over 20 years, for decades. As a former immigration attorney, I can tell you, at the same cases, the same circumstances, the result, very different. That is not a fair, just immigration system. I am tired of so many of my undocumented immigrant neighbors who are married to U.S. citizens can't adjust their status here in the United States. I'm so exhausted and listening to so many of my friends who literally grew up, they didn't even know they're undocumented until they applied for college. These are, many of them, again, are integral part of our communities. Why? Not because of their fault. It's because our country continues to embolden and profit off of our broken immigration system and inhumane system. And it's about time we say enough is enough. So again, I want to relay, I don't care who the president is. I don't care if it's a Democrat or Republican, whoever it is. Vilifying and targeting our immigrant neighbors is something that cannot continue on. This is not the way forward. We have to do the things that are incredibly important to reunify our communities, but make them safer. And the way you do it is let them come out of the shadows. They've been here. They belong here. And again, they're not going anywhere. God bless you. Thank you so much for your continued advocacy.
Representative Rashid, sorry. Can I ask her something about
Estamos y
immigration?
no nos vamos. Aquí estamos y no nos vamos. Home is here. Home is here. Home is here. Home is here. Undocumented. Undocumented. Sin papeles. Sin papeles. Sin papeles. Home is here. 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 Up with liberation. Down with deportation. Up with liberation. Down with deportation. Up with liberation. Down with deportation. Up with liberation. Down with deportation.
Now, I want to pass it to my hermana in the movement, Lidia Walter Rodriguez, CASA's Chief of Organizing and Leadership, to close us out.
Mil gracias, Claudia. Familia, mi nombre es Lidia Walter Rodríguez, soy la directora general de CASA para la Organizing Department. My name is Lidia Walter Rodriguez. I am the Chief of Organizing and Leadership with CASA. I have the honor of closing today's press conference and talking about next steps. Tengo el honor de cerrar la conferencia de prensa el día de hoy y hablar de próximos pasos. CASA está aquí junto a más de 2 docenas diferentes organizaciones que están aquí de todas partes del país. CASA is here with Home is Here Network, and we are here with over 200 community members from 24 different organizations from around the country. Home is here. Home is here. Home is here. Home is here. Familia, venimos el día de hoy y estamos en próximos pasos. Vamos a hacer cabildeo para que nos escuche los congresistas, nos escuche la administración de Biden, que aquí estamos y no nos vamos. We will be doing lobby visits all throughout today, visiting over 24 Congress members to let them know that our home is here and we are here to stay. 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 Here to stay.
Unido jamás
Será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. The people united will never be defeated. And with that, I want to conclude to say that we are witnessing people power. Estamos testigos del poder del movimiento. Estamos testigos de las personas inmigrantes que dicen no más, not one more dollar towards deportations. Congress, we are looking at you. Congreso, nos estamos mirando a ustedes. No vamos a olvidar qué hicieron estos últimos 30 días. We will not forget what you did this last 30 days. Biden, we are calling on you. We need this more than ever. Y la lucha sigue. ¿Sigue, mi gente? ¡Sigue! ¿Se puede? ¡Sí se puede! With that, we conclude this morning's press conference. Familia, con eso terminamos la conferencia de prensa de hoy. Vamos a tomarnos un gran paso aquí a la derecha para tomarnos una gran foto en grupo antes de comenzar el cabildeo. We're going to take a huge step here to the right and take one final group picture before we start our lobby visits for today. Gracias.